As I promised, hi everyone, once again. Um, while everyone is joining, I just wanted to tell everyone and remind that we are going to have this webinar recorded in English, and please appreciate that. We will post it on YouTube for everyone else to take a look after the lunch itself. I'm quite nervous, to be honest, because as it always happens, some of the stuff comes up and finishes at the very final stage of the journey. But it's a fun journey, and I do really want to share this precious moment for me and Bogdan with all of you today. All of you who has been joining this call. This is the Bizdeva community, my friends, my relatives, my acquaintances, my post colleagues, and I really appreciate the fact that you will be testing this out firsthand. And I want to share our story with Bogdan. And Bogdan actually put 90% of work that you will see later on. And he's one of the most talented product managers and software engineers that I worked with, especially due to the AI revolution that comes in, and we've been working on this based on the new innovations. So, without further ado, briefly, before Bogdan is sharing the presentation, I wanted to briefly explain how the career launch has happened and what was the initial idea for this product. First thing first, some of you remember Bogdan, we had the charitable event together a few months ago, and we raised funds for the charitable organization in Kiev, and we are quite close friends. And we, from time to time, sharing our experiences on mentoring people, what type of consulting projects aside of the full-time job do we have, and what are the challenges do we have as managers ourselves. And due to a few of conversations that we had, we came up with the idea that we would like to fill the gap in mentorship progress and mentorship path that everyone had previously with the roadmaps, actionable roadmaps that actually evaluate where are you at now as a manager, what are your gaps in terms of the mentorship or coaching that you required, and at the same time keep accountable for these steps moving forward. So it's not just the mentorship for the sake of mentorship, but having at first the analysis of your current state, some of the recommendations, and using this report and this roadmap as an actionable plan for you moving forward with your mentors or with anyone else that you would like to take on this journey using this roadmap. And over to Bogdan now, because he would probably have something to share additionally to this.
Absolutely. First of all, I can see that there are people adding up to the call, so pretty glad to see that we already have 17 participants, and hopefully we're gonna get some more down the road. So thanks for joining. I feel kind of guilty because I'm not that nervous as Maryna is, just maybe because of neuroleptics, maybe
Balance.
because I got slept this night. I don't know why, but yeah. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. If something's gonna break down, please bear with us. That's something that happens from time to time, especially with the startups. Anyway, we've prepared a lot of funny stuff for today. There's gonna be a lot of cool things, and hopefully you will get some helpful results out of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'll share my screen. I'm gonna be swapping back to the Zoom window from time to time because I can see there are more people joining us, and I will be letting them into the meeting room. Anyway, I'll share this, and we will actually, I will kick the things off with a couple of fancy things today. First of all, we will have a lot of fancy polls, different questionnaires, everything like that. I'm not gonna be letting you go without any interactive, funny stuff, so that's something to start with. The second thing is, given the fact we are launching a fully working service today, which requires money for its work, you'll be seeing some promo codes that will be appearing from time to time over the different pages. And each promo code is first come, first serve. So basically, if you spot it and you use it right away, nobody else is going to be able to use it after you. So just keep in mind these. Keep attention. Keep your attention around what we're going to be presenting, because probably there are going to be more of them throughout the slide deck. I have no idea how many promo codes we're going to have, to be honest. I've let Cursor decide this for me, so we'll find out.
Well,
Hopefully.
AI-led revolution right now, right here. Um,
Exactly.
all good.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, just to set up expectations in the right way. We have our own KPIs for this webinar, and I need to and I want to emphasize on this, because if it's successful, what it means to me that we will have at least 10 downloads of the career roadmaps that we will demonstrate you shortly, like how it looks like and things like that. I want all of the promo codes being used, which means like everyone is engaged and curious to test what's been done. Third thing, like if it might be relevant for you to move forward with mentorship based on the career plan that you receive, like 3 ideally people who would request it, that would be the top-notch result for me. Please wait until the end of this session, because we're not just about the AI productized service, we're also about building the community. This is my strong part, and probably the strengths that I've inherited because of the BizDeva channel. Now with this launch of a product, we had a brainstorming with Bogdan. It makes sense to start building community to whom the relevancy of mentorship in a managerial leadership path would make sense, and for those who would like to improve and move forward, becoming a better manager day to day. Good. Over to you back, Bogdan. Just needed to
Yeah.
crystallize the outcomes.
No, that totally makes sense. In the meantime, I'm gonna be double checking if somebody else is joining us here. Nobody here so far, still 17 participants, which is not too bad, especially given the fact that Tuesday, end of the day. I totally get it. Anyway, first of all, I think it's a good idea for us to start with a couple of quick guesses. So just as I promised, we will start with some interactions right away. Feel free to drop in your response in the chat, or you can turn on your mic and tell what you think. But let's start with a quick guess. So probably some of you have noticed that AI becomes a pretty significant part of our life. Maybe somebody has not noticed that yet. Well, bad for you. But anyway, how do you think, what percentage of professionals are at risk due to AI in the next 2 to 3 years? There are several options for you to choose from. Maryna, I would love to hear your thoughts as well, because I know you have not seen this slide deck
I
yet.
haven't. Are at risk due to the AI? Hopefully less. I don't know. Let's say I'm optimistic, 20-40%. But unfortunately, I see people voting for option C.
Okay, I know there are a lot of people telling that that depends on the industry, and I used to think the same way as well, but it feels like it's not that simple. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. So let's, without further ado, let's pick option C for everybody. Let's hit reveal answer. And actually 30 to 50. The disruption is obviously already here, and it's pretty hard to estimate what is going to be the impact down the road. However, the main problem right now is that, again, we cannot forecast how bad is it going to become in a couple of years or even a few years, because I remember quite clearly, like a couple of years ago, or maybe like less than a year ago, me and Maryna discussed that chatbot agents or ChatGPT agents is something like the new future to build AI prospecting or AI lead identification, etc. And now we are building like whole AI tools ourselves, just with some code, some fancy designs, etc. So that was less than a year. I believe that the time had to pass to completely overtake the process of building, developing, designing the product, and so on and so forth. And we can only imagine that the growth is going to be exponential, and probably it is going to get much worse in the future. Anyway,
By the way, thanks to Sergey for dropping off some articles and researches based on which actually this data has been gathered. So, yeah.
Thank you. And now question a little bit more scary. For example, I'm facing my fear of missing out quite oftenly over the last couple of months, sure, at least. What actually drives success today, in your opinion? Like, what is the single biggest career differentiator right now? We've had this similar topic back during the previous webinar, but I would
Oh
love to
yeah.
hear your thoughts about it. Like, what is that right now? Experience, skills, networking, positioning, maybe something else. You might have your own answer. Please feel free to suggest something you have.
I'll be reading the answers, so don't worry about
Okay.
that.
Okay.
We have answers that are varying. Depends on the culture. C network is the most popular so far. Daniel says that everything is actually applicable to this question. Like the more you have, the better position you are because you have lower risk averse. Okay, and bravery. I think, yeah, like Elisa just shared, like one thing is missing, bravery of becoming and adapting to where you are is also one of the crucial factors, I think. It makes sense, definitely.
While you were reading the answers, we had the promo code just flying in and out, and it disappeared. Hopefully,
That was the
somebody noticed
promo
that.
code. Like, please
Yeah.
type in the chat if you were able to actually understand that it's a promo code. I was thinking that it's a, I don't know,
What was
something
it?
that, yeah, like it's a, I don't know, bug in the system. Another,
It was literally,
another
yeah.
cursor decision that I wasn't able to catch on time. But okay,
It was
someone who's
literally
been
saying,
smart.
this is the promo code, please copy and paste it. It was literally stated there. Anyway, it's not that good in design. That's what we have learned today. Anyway, thank you for reading through the answers. Let's take a look at the answer reveal. So network was the most popular one, I assume. Let's take a look at the revealed answer. Positioning. Obviously, this might be an arguable response, and you can definitely not agree with that. But basically, the trick is that you can still have all three of the other ones. You can be experienced, you can have skills, you can have a lot of networking opportunities and network around you. But if you cannot showcase yourself properly, you're going to be losing on the market nowadays. And we keep on facing these situations when people who might not be pretty much experienced, who might not be having everything they might be looking for, still are able to secure pretty good positions or fundraise or launch their own companies. And we have a lot of examples like that throughout the history. So anyway, positioning wins, and this slowly leads us to the next topic, which we called reality check. And here's some uncomfortable truth, and this might sting a little, but basically most people are not getting stuck because they lack skills. We are learning every single day, and it is impossible to predict what specific type of skills you will need in your next position, your next job, doing something else. You just cannot predict that. But people get stuck because they are either not visible, they are not differentiated, and they are not packaged. The last one sounds a bit weird, but that's exactly the way it's called. Like, you are not packaged in terms of your LinkedIn, in terms of your media presence, in terms of what are you bringing to the table for the community, and so on and so forth. And this is the biggest problem, because nowadays, especially when we're talking about the market that's rapidly changing, companies are not buying you for the skills you have. They are
Experience.
buying you, yeah, or for the experience. They are buying you for the way you can present yourself and the way you showcase yourself. Marina, maybe you'd like to add up something here. You have recently finished your
Definitely,
job.
because I see a few people who have been with me on this journey for quite a while, like some of my previous colleagues, SDRs, and some of the people who were taking some of the courses together with me. And the more we're in this journey, the more I try to crystallize and share with the audience that building the brand is the most important thing for us here and now. Building the brands externally, speaking at the events, publishing posts on LinkedIn, fortunately or unfortunately, helps you to value more on the market. And as you said, like our future employer buys us not for the experience or skill set that we have, but for the brand and amount of mistakes that we made previously in our life, expecting us not to make them ever again, and their new roles. So definitely, I do agree with that. And packaging this is an issue for many of us, I'm sure. Like I've been in this for a long time, and I'm in leadership roles for last 7 years. But believe me or not, the bigger the company, the harder for me to package myself and position myself as an authority, especially currently at my current role in a company that's requires changes, but involves too many people. So I need to build my brand internally and be invisible. And that's the main challenge for me as a manager, for sure.
Yep. And moving on, this is exactly why we have created CAREERA. This is going to be kind of a seamless, smooth transition, but still, that's basically the main reason because we've been talking with Maryna a lot about it, like our career goals, our experience, what we have faced over the last several years, etc. And we realized that based on our separate consulting experience, we can see a lot of great engineers that cannot see any opportunities. You can see what's happening on the market nowadays. A lot of cool guys who have a lot of experience behind themselves cannot find the jobs. I'm getting the questions every single day, literally from people who have like 10 years of experience, 12 years of experience, more like, hey guys, do you hire somebody? Are you looking for the software engineers? Anything like that. And it's really painful to see such a problem. Strong specialists have low income. It's again kind of the thing that we are used to not to talk about at all, like what should be the proper income, how much should we be paid for our services,
Exactly.
etc. And to be honest, like we are evaluating ourselves differently. Everybody has their own like value measurement, but still there are a lot of strong specialists that are being underpaid on the market. Yeah, there we go.
Don't
Um,
please. Now it's a competition, becomes a competition. Everyone understands how it goes now, so don't pay too much attention to this. But yeah, sorry for interrupting.
No, that's good. That was on purpose. And smart people, they don't have direction where to move. They don't understand what should they be doing differently or what should they keep on doing, basically. Just because, again, I'm asking this question to myself every single day, like, am I on the right career path or not? What if I choose a different path? Will I win or will I lose out of it? And I cannot answer this question even to myself. And obviously, there are a lot of people, and that's usually I've used to think that this is something that distinguishes smart people. They are constantly concerned about themselves, about their journey, what they do, whether they had it in the right direction or not. But the worst thing that can happen here is that you can get stuck in the middle. Like you cannot decide where you want to move and what you want to do next. And that's not a talent problem. This is rather the problem of the system. The way how we've been raised, the way how we've been taught towards the market. In the Soviet Union, we got used to the fact that you get one job that's being assigned to you by the government and you cannot change it ever. Like you're going to be working at that factory to the rest of your life and that's it. And that's exactly the problem of the system that we have decided to try to modify just a little bit or give it a shot. Something like that. Maryna, you want to add up something here?
I can relate to that, and I wanted to ask like the audience to post in comments to whom this information resonates the most. And I'm sure that there are a few people who are currently in this journey. Just the identity problem, and if we are doing the right job, and are we actually in the right place, and which is more important, like what we should do next, like how to understand what is the next step and where the gaps are.
Moreover, nowadays, when the technology moves really quick and it feels like life moves past us, it's really hard even to decide for yourself that you're going to be dedicated in the next couple of years for this specific company or for this specific activity because
Oh yeah.
people start feeling that the life just passes by. And again, given the fact everything that we have survived through over the last 5 or 6 years, or even, yeah, like 6 years, I believe, starting COVID, or maybe even earlier, um, you start valuing every single year of your life and you start thinking like, okay, should I really dedicate my life to that or should I be doing something different? And nobody wants to waste another year of their life running or building the career they don't want to have in the end or dedicating their time to the company they don't like, etc. So this is why we decided that the old model is that you cannot just get a degree, get a job, get promoted, get some stability, And again, you have to be jumping back and forth. You have to be showcasing yourself on the market. You have to be looking for the better opportunities. And this path we had before is no longer reliable. It is literally slowing people down. And we can see this problem quite oftenly, especially nowadays with the boom of AI technology and different opportunities. So what's replaced it is basically the combo of skills, visibility, demand, and income. More and more often, we can see that income is not narrowed down towards one company. Quite often, we have diversified incomes. We consult different startups. We work on side projects. We have our full-time job. We have something else. And that becomes a new reality. A lot of people are running their own pet projects. I assume a lot of you do have their own pet projects. Somebody builds their own pet project just to feel a little bit more independent from their day-to-day corporate job. In the end, this turns into something bigger, into something larger, into their own company, etc. And that's exactly where the old model is being replaced with looking for the opportunities, being able to tailor your skills towards it, and finally being able to showcase yourself as a specialist who deserves this income, not only in front of the audience, but also for yourself, because fighting the imposter syndrome is the worst thing that can happen to us, honestly. And I believe all of us are facing this from time to time. You do not get paid for what you know. You get exactly paid for how clearly you show your value and how long you can be showing your value. Because companies are buying value, not just your knowledge. Until it converts into something, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so at this fear of missing out note, I think it's a good idea to talk about the services, productize value, and finally showcase you a sneak peek of what we have built before I'm going to talk about the big shift and this fancy thing. So I'm not sure. I would love to have something like the drum in sequence, but I don't have any drum, so let me just choose
I
it
should
as
have
a
prepared it way earlier, but yeah,
yeah.
let's do it without that. So definitely, I think like those of you who have been interested in checking this, you probably saw the domain and would have been able to check how it looks like way earlier than Bogdan is showcasing. But this is the website. And this is the product. This is, I would say, the face of the product because you see there is the assessment, the quiz. No, more assessment than a quiz that you should go through in order to generate your first career roadmap based on the knowledge that we have with the Bogdan, but more importantly, on the knowledge of everything that has ever been created for this topic on the internet. And I think that Bogdan, over to you. You will guide through this.
Yeah, what is interesting is that it has taken us much longer to prepare the properly tailored assessments, the structure of the roadmap, work on the way how the report should look like, what should be inside of it, etc., than even build the whole product. Because this is rather about design. Of course, we've been creative in around the ways of how we can build it. You can see some spatial topics here, like we try to make it like space, all of the ideas behind it, etc. And I like this design personally. You can do nothing about it, sorry. But as for the but as for the component and content itself, the biggest idea was not about what you're gonna be seeing at the website itself, but about what's gonna be inside and what is the instant value that you can get out of it. Moreover, this is obviously just the first step. Obviously, the product is not only about the leadership assessment and simply report. We are trying to put much more into this product after that, but right now we are testing the hypothesis and we're having you as our first hypothesis testers who will hopefully give us some feedback, give us some next steps, and provide us with some ideas on how we can move next. In the end of this call, I will showcase the sneak peek into what we are planning to do next, besides just reports. But right now, here's what we have. We'll launch our assessment.
Let me briefly chime in just to
Yeah.
share like to my 2 cents with regards to this. Um, while everyone is afraid that AI will take over and I don't know, like replace our jobs and we don't know what to do, I think that the most important thing is to focus on things that on our under our control. AI would never be able to replace relationships and how we build relationships and how managers build in the teams and build the morale and things like that. And this is like intangible, sometimes even hard to measure qualities that those people whose aspiration is to join leadership roles and becoming the manager should always keep in mind. AI help us to free up some time as managers to actually look deeper and build meaningful relationships. I think it's a curse of our current time is that everyone like to get a new friend, like to meet a new person becomes really easy, but how to meaningfully build relationships with this person, we're kind of losing everything on the way. And we discussed this with Bogdan, career related, life related, and I wish I could have something tangible that will guide me, like in the gym, my personal trainer will guide me, like what specifically I'm missing in order to become a better leader of my own life or of a team that I have at my current job.
I can tell that the biggest problem we've been trying to resolve with this product was that obviously you might ask like, why do you need a separate product if I have ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity or whatever you use? But I think you have already noticed that ChatGPT tends to agree with everything you tell them. Like this can become the worst feeder of your fears just because it's going to be putting more and more oil into the fire of your fear just by agreeing with everything you tell. And honestly, even though ChatGPT, for example, tries to showcase some empathy towards what you tell, what you say, what you're asking about, it is still a huge problem that you will not get far with that. And what we've been trying to do is to build this not based on just some AI model or OpenAI or something, but try to put in some of our critical knowledge, some of our criticism, healthy criticism, of course, that will literally answer your question, like whether you're doing something right or wrong. So the idea behind this whole process is that you have to answer 12 questions. They are split into three different subgroups or sub-questions. And that's interesting about it is that every single time you'll be seeing new questions here. It's not like you have the same questionnaire for everyone. We have tested out multiple different versions of this questionnaire. And right now you will be getting something like 5 to 6 different sets of custom questions on the go. So obviously do not do this as quickly as I do it right now. I'm just clicking some random options, but what is expected from you when you're completing this mission control section is that you will be meaningful about your answers. You'll try to think about what would be the best answer here, etc. And in the end of the day, these will help us build the proper analysis of what we deliver. So finally, let's say we have answered the final question, and this is what we get. Based on all of the answers that's been provided, we prepare the leadership report that you can download down the way. So let's just wait until it's being generated. I've been struggling a lot making sure that the loading process does not take much. So right now you have to wait around 1 minute until it brings you the full report. And I have one pre-saved just not to torture you with waiting. But
Yeah,
still,
let me chime in just because we have a question in the chat, like why 12? I will take the full responsibility and yeah, like that was my decision in terms of the questionnaire and the one of the tasks that was owned by me was actually making sure that this is not too long, not too short, enough for the report being objective. At the same time, like I don't think that don't get me wrong. I don't think that it's the ideal case scenario. It's just our vision on how it should be preset. I'm more than sure, and you've probably been through lots of assessments prior to that, like 16 personalities, different types, but not related to the career leadership sites, that include way more questions in order to dig into more details. That's my assumption that 12 is enough in order for you to get the first intake into what's there, where are you at now, and in order to understand what are your top three priorities. I didn't want to get into the width, like, okay, like now you have 56 gaps that you need to fill in. So let's figure out how we will be managing that. No, the report is crafted the way so you get the most of the information, and it prioritizes the areas that you need to improve, that you actually need to prioritize. So that was the main way of me thinking about that as the person who also overwhelmed with different types of mentoring and coaching for myself, and the idea of figuring out what would be the best setup and schedule for me to follow in order to feel the progress. I think one of the things, like, I never had a chance as a mentoree have this complete feeling that, oh, I'm actually progressing towards the outcomes that I set initially. And this is the problem that I try to solve with this questionnaire.
And honestly, again, we're just in the middle of MVP. This is, or rather, in proof of concept. We are testing things out, and you will be seeing how this project grows in front of your eyes. So probably one day we'll decide that 12 questions is not enough, and we need more, or maybe even vice versa. We'll decide that 5 questions is totally fine. Anyway, what you can see right now is the high-level analysis. It is not just a random number. It's literally a score based on the analysis that we have performed. It will suggest some details of the full report, and I'm going to showcase that in a while. And basically here, it brings you two different options. You can either get the full report for $29.99, or you can get a full session with me and Maryna that will last for 60 minutes, where we will not only present you with the report, but also answer all of your questions, walk you through the process, explain what should you do next, how to deal with the fear of missing out, how to deal with your internal fears, imposter syndrome involving, etc. And try to align your targets and your goals with the report that we've built with CAREERA. By the way, it beats the perfect place where you can use your promo code. So if you've been able to catch one, please feel free to enter it here. Again, I have to remind you that we use them on the first come, first serve basis, which means that in the end of the day, if somebody picks the promo code, the other people cannot use it anymore. Anyway, the most interesting part, how does the report look like and what do you
Report
have?
itself. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another thing that brought me a couple of sleepless nights. Maryna was working hard on the structure of this report. I was working on making sure it is packaged properly. There are still, this is the old version, by the way. The latest one is a little bit more in depth and it doesn't have some of the visual misalignments. So sorry about that.
Don't worry, don't pay too much attention on things that have been solved
Yeah,
already. Yeah, but
pretend it's
visually
not
it
good.
looks like that. Yeah, you will see.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, this is a huge PDF file. Obviously, you can split this into multiple subfiles, but we decided that having a huge roadmap from A to Z would be the best approach. And that's exactly what we have done. So basically, first of all, it brings you the readiness score, like how prepared you are right now, not to be just another manager, but to be a leader in your company. And then it defines you what leadership stage are you at, like where you should move, what is your possible opportunity, and when you can go. We also analyze the archetypes. So for example, here, this is the pragmatic executor. We have the targets and we have also the current stages. And we also work through the contents, including the executive summary, which basically lets you understand what is your current point, where you're at, what are the strong sides you have, and what is something that you have to focus on. Another thing that we have is your top strength. This is something that a lot of different archetype tests, etc., do not provide you with. Our test literally tells you what is your strong side, what is something that requires more work, etc. And it also breaks down all of the main criteria with the scores as well, like you're being strategic, you're being strong or not strong in delegation, coaching, influence, execution, being emotional or not, etc. Based on this, we're counting the average readiness score. That provides some assessment context, obviously, and based on that, we get the most important key insight built. Then you can dive deeper into the details, like what does this score mean? What's where you can create the most value? This is, by the way, exactly about positioning yourself. Not only what can I do, but also how can I showcase to the company, to my employee, to my employer, sorry, or somebody else that I am creating value the most. And finally, I believe the question that a lot of people are asking themselves is where your ceiling sits. Like, how quickly will I hit my ceiling and what do I have to do to break it and move further? That's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we provide. Leadership competency profile. It takes all of the basic or required leadership competencies and it analyzes them based on what you have right now. Delegation, coaching, influence, execution, all of the other ones as well. And based on that, you can see what is your highest leverage growth area, what to do about it, and what are the additional steps you should take. There are some instructions on how to read this profile. It is not just fancy circles with numbers. Obviously, there are some suggestions on how you can approach this. And then there is something like the competency intelligence. Well, you can be going through every single dimension in details, plus have the next actions around what you should do with it. I'm getting overly excited, so Maryna, please feel free to chime in if you want to add up something before
Yeah,
I...
like it seems like
There's a
you
lot.
answered and try to pull up the report for yourself and trying to identify what are the areas you would like to work on. I don't want to go through. It's quite a
Yeah.
lengthy document. I would probably suggest you to go to the bottom of the report itself, briefly scrolling everything just to show something. Uh, Leadership and self-assessment. This is quite an interesting thing. And at the end as well, you also see go down, down, down. Yeah, this is the schedule.
Sure.
It's kind of suggested trajectory of you to work on the areas that you need to with your mentor, with your coach. It doesn't necessarily mean it's us with Bogdan, but as long as we are the ones who take in the responsibility of this report, we definitely suggest you to start with us. But it gives you the schedule and agenda as a project, as everything that we do at work, how to properly, consistently build and work on things that you need to improve over time. So I love it just because as a person who's really data driven at work and really structured, I lack with intangible things, the things that are hard to measure, to build the plan for myself and stay consistent. So that was one of the challenges that I shared with you earlier. You kind of dedicate 1 hour speaking to your coaches, a psychologist, and that's it. And then you prioritize other things. Over here, you have a schedule, you have a milestones and agenda that needs to be discussed. So it kind of keeps you on track with the with everything that is covered over here. Don't take it as a as something that you should implement in your life 100%. It's not subjective, but neither objective as well. If something resonates with you, note it down and guide us as your mentor. Like it's called also managing up. Tell your coach that these are the areas that you would like to focus on, that the ones that have been mentioned as the lower priority, we would like to put it first. But this is already something that you can use, not just thinking yourself like, okay, like what should I work on, but something that has been already pre-selected and you can prioritize yourself what needs to be done first based on the roadmap. It's the roadmap. It's not something, it's not a Bible at the end of the day. Good motto for this webinar, I think, like roadmap, not a Bible. At the end of this session, I hope that some of you will try to go through this and please provide us with the feedback how this resonates with you and how actually trustworthy this information is, because we definitely tested it out for ourselves with Bogdan, but the wider the audience and the reason for us presenting this in front of you is actually receiving the feedback. It's a cool report. We all love like taking tests, evaluating our skills, but how likely you use it to move forwards. If you would use it as a roadmap, that would be the biggest win for me after this session. Yeah, quite a long PDF as well. Stas told me like value for its money. Come on, like we did really want to prepare something that wouldn't be like a white paper for you to pay $29.99. By the way, this is something the price model has been selected by AI as well. So it should be valuable and insightful for you.
Yeah, it's funny, by the way, about the pricing model because at some point we decided to use OpenClaw, and at some point we instructed OpenClaw to be our CEO and product manager and everybody. and he went through an audit of what we've had so far, and he was like, guys, you will not get far setting up these prices. I have swapped everything, and also I've redone your whole product, and also I update these, and these. And then we went out of credits for Anthropic, and OpenCloud died. Rest in peace for it. Anyway, what we have so far is, just to wrap up the idea about the report, is that it is not only the action plan and your trajectory and what you can do, but also a pretty good thing behind some additional bonuses that you'll get out of it, because there are several things like decision operating systems, some rules that will help you preserve the speed, and playing politics as as a leader and leadership representative. There is a stakeholder communication pack, some risk register and review rhythms, and other tools. And every single time they are different, actually. They are providing you with some additional ideas on what you can do, how you can get better, and what you can improve as a potential leader or just person who's trying to pursue their career better. Okay, this is for the report. Before we will swap back to the slide deck, Maryna, would you like to add something here? Maybe a couple of words about the sessions that we are suggesting, except for the report itself?
Yeah, let me be honest. I tried with every product launch, I think that co-founders trying to ease up some of the things for themselves, right? Like, and one of the things that I want to emphasize on this meeting, and I will stand by that. Now, anytime anyone messaged me about the consulting session or mentorship, I will just send this link to the career site, because it's such a help for me to have a proper mentorship session based on something tangible. Having this report as a mentor, it's way easier. So just for you to know, I would not have any consulting session without going through this flow on career from now on. And we kind of agreed with Bogdan that he promises to do the same. I'm kidding. Yeah, he did say that it's the best way to use that to
Well,
ease
yeah.
our lives. Question that has been asked by some of my friends who are mentoring themselves, like, will you expand the network of mentors moving forward? I would like to become a mentor as well, because I see the need and I would like to use this service as well. We'll see. Depends on the demand, and that's exactly why we're having this lunch, and we have some soft KPIs for the next 7 days. If it's something that could make sense for those who mentor and for those who would like to be mentored, we'll give it a go. But now, from now on, everyone who has been consulting with me will be sent via this career website, because it eases simply our lives as mentors.
Exactly. Okay, so just a couple of words about the services and products as well. We have already emphasized that AI played a significant role in what we've been trying to build. And again, I'm not going to be telling about why most professionals stay stuck, just because we have already briefly outlined it, showcasing the idea behind the product, what we're doing that. And again, I have already told that people are buying outcomes, not just efforts and not just blind approaches. So not going to be stopping here. You'll have access to the presentation. It is a part of the website as well, by the way. So anyway, we just a couple of more things about the report and what was involved in it is we have analyzed almost everything, preparing the data set for this report. We've been looking at the layoffs, hiring trends, ecosystems of startups, freelance platforms, the way how the big companies work. We've been applying our own expertise to that. We totally understand that market rewards clarity and rewards speed, and that's exactly what we've been trying to do. Couple final thoughts probably before we will showcase some fancy things and further plans is that, first of all, layoffs are predictable. They are literally predictable, and it is not a new or something that nobody knows about. Every single way of layoffs can be predicted easily. That's the harsh truth. AI obviously changes the rules, but we should stop treating AI as somebody or something that will replace us, but rather the tool that can help us. And this product is the perfect example of how it can help us throughout the whole process. Visibility is our leverage. That's exactly what we need to do. And before the main goal of CAREERA is to move you from invisible to visible and from replaceable to actually valuable. Again, it is totally about positioning. So yeah, that was the real problem, the real resolution. That's about the way how we have built it. Again, not going to be stopping here because we've got so excited that without even using the slide deck, we have already explored and explained all of that. And you have already seen how it works. So I think a good idea right now is to tell you that we will keep on scaling, keep on building this product, and we would like you to be our first early adopters of the product, and not only in this way, but also people who will be watching us building this into something huge and meaningful. This is why we have prepared a Telegram community. It will be an additional chat where we will be showcasing all of the updates, everything that we're doing, because we do not plan to stop here, obviously. We're going to be scaling the product. We're going to be trying to get more and better results out of it. And I will keep this QR code for a while on the screen. Then in the end, I will showcase you the next plans and the roadmap for the product. Maryna, would you like to add up something here?
Yeah, definitely. I've already tested if the community works. Why we've decided to create the Telegram community? Because, come on, I leverage Eastern European community for years, and I do really want to start receiving the feedback and getting better understanding of product value. Um, via radically candid feedback that you can provide. I think that the closer the person is, the more radically candid the feedback is. So please share like everything with regards to this session, to the test of the website, to the PDF, like if it's too long or too short or too generic, share it with me. The community that we're building in a Telegram chat, we'll share more. We will share some of the news, what we're going to do next, what is the next feature for us to create, what was the feedback, anything that will be related to the product. And this is the community where we would like uh, to let you see on the background what has been built and what we are doing, like what are the topics that we're discussing, why we're making decisions to do like things, and it's a lifestyle blog, but in a way like how we built our first AI productized product as Korea. So feel free to ask questions over there, ask for content or anything. I would really much appreciate if you could spread the word and share links to the report or to the website to those who might contribute from this information, or just for a fun test of skills, if there is anyone in your network who aspires to become a manager anytime soon. And yeah, the more people in the chat, the more I understand that there is something else that needs to come next. Yeah, that's it from my side. I'm really excited that we actually made it.
Just a couple more words. Obviously, we are not ending up on just building a fancy slide deck or a fancy MVP product on the web. We have many more plans and we have much more to come quite soon. So basically, just a quick thing I wanted to showcase to you. And Maryna, probably you won't be happy about it, but I think I should showcase what we've built over the weekend with the next steps for CAREERA. But basically, we are thinking about turning this
Let
into the
me
full.
let me pause for a second. I'm just curious because we have quite techy guys attending. Does anyone look into Sleek? Does anyone know what Sleek is? Just drop your answer into the chat. No. Okay. So the cool thing is that we've just decided, okay, if the product is AI driven and the whole logic is AI driven, why don't we try to let AI decide what we should do next, what should be built as a next feature, next thing for us. So Sleek actually one of the tools that helped us to identify what would be the next cool thing for us to step into. And Bogdan, yeah, please showcase what AI suggested us to build.
Yeah, so basically we have asked a pretty direct question like what should we do next? We have this slide, we have this website, we have this current functionality. What would you suggest? And basically the feedback from AI was like, well, try opening it up into the mobile application, try doing it this way. And then it literally built us the, not even the wireframes, but actually the literal design on what can be in there. Just not to make users purchase their leadership roadmap once and forget about it, but actually for them to stay engaged, to stay involved, to keep on running, to keep on testing out the things. And that's exactly what we've got. So basically, in the upcoming app, we are expected to have the 3 months roadmap strategy built based on the leadership report and our consultations. We will have the daily protocol of everything happening this week, your tasks, your subtasks, etc. We are going to have the library of everything that's going to be inside of the intelligence hub, like some articles, some texts, some materials.
Collateral. Yeah.
Exactly. This is a quick sneak peek into the network of mentors. We are still exploring the opportunity of adding more mentors, and we would love to have this opportunity. So again, if you have some appetites about becoming the mentor with us, please again join the community. QR code is here, because I believe quite soon we will be looking for some. And many more things like growth metrics, your profile, etc. And what is cool about it is that if I ask it like, can you I'm gonna be showcasing all of the secrets today. Well, why not? Can you build me a
Okay.
community functionality page? Let's just see what it comes with. So it will build the design itself. And again, this is at some point to build some fear of missing out for you guys. So you know it's not that easy, and AI can actually take over our jobs if you don't purchase the leadership report today. But other than that, it is just to showcase how quickly technologies are moving on and how quickly the things are working here. As you can see, it is rebuilding the whole page on the go. I've provided it with a pretty simple thread and inputs, and it builds everything itself, which is quite cool, quite promising. I can then export these to Figma. It will update all of the other screens as well. And that's exactly what we'll have in place. And obviously, we can have many more things like that. So we will not stop on just having a fancy landing page built up. We are expecting to scale product furthermore. And hopefully, this is going to be a fun journey that you will be a part of. I
Would you
think
like
we
to be challenged? Would you like to be challenged? I think that Stas has raised a really fair point because I think that by the end of the session we need to crystallize what specifically the tool is about. Stas tells like, so what's the positioning? What's the ICP? The longer meeting goes and the more we show, it's quite difficult to understand. Is this product for mentors or for mentorees? What problems it's supposed to solve at the state it is now at. Let's just like once again, Bogdan, to narrow this down to what it gives now and to whom it gives. And this one of the feedback that I had earlier this morning as well, like, oh, does it cover all of the industries? And I'm trying to explain, and no, it's industry agnostic. This is about leadership and management skills across different industries, which is another pack of things that you need to cover. So without me telling about this, could you go through this with the language that you do? Usually, it's way better than I position.
Okay, this is gonna be complicated for me, but honestly, in my opinion, this is the tool for the occasionally made managers or the ones who've never been prepared for it. And they've either been performing quite well and they get promoted, or they just deserved this promotion and they finally ended up there. And now they're facing a huge pile of different problems in their career, trying to understand whether they are doing something right. Why did they have to step back from the manual tasks they got used to do, and how they can get better, not as just simple managers, but as the leaders, so they can evaluate and scale their career down the road. Because quite often what happens is when you get promoted and dive deeper into your responsibilities inside of one company, it's quite hard to change the role afterwards because your tasks are pretty much tailored and they are pretty much tailored by yourself towards what you do. So, quick elevator pitch. We help self-made managers become the respected leaders. That's what I would tell.
I love this positioning. Yeah, yeah. Just to emphasize, these are the most popular requests that we receive on the background. People who want to become a manager and struggling positioning themselves internally in the org. And I have a few people over here still with us on this webinar that I know a person in person that's currently in the process of dealing with this challenge. And we have the other cohort of people who have been promoted just because, okay, there was the rule and they never thought that they will end up as a manager. They have been great individual contributors, but no one taught them how to become a manager after you've been promoted. Okay, you have a position, but what's next? How to identify these areas that need to be improved. So occasional managers, I love this statement. I still remember the first time you said about that, and I still like dropping this as one of the positionings. That's it.
Okay, any other questions? Something else. We would love to hear your feedback. We know we are getting out of this 1 hour we had, so please go ahead.
If you have any, please. We still have 3 minutes. Thank you for clapping and for a round of applause. Thank you for separately messaging me about why don't we have wine. And Bohdan, this is the problem that we need to solve right after this call. I desperately need a glass of wine to celebrate it. Let's put it like this. Thank you so much. This has been recorded. This will be posted on BizDeva channel shortly, I think later today or tomorrow. Share, test, share the feedback. It might not be something that is relevant for you now, but we wanted to test it. We wanted to build it. We wanted to launch it. No matter what, we're learning from this experience ourselves. And that's the reason we're doing that. So I'm not challenged by any question or any feedback that we'll receive just because we are all in this together. And thanks for becoming the part of this today at our lunch party. Thank you and speak with you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Bye bye.